are the 1%, right? Like there's still an entire economy of men out here, right? And the other like 90% don't really have millions and ain't really in tip-top shape. So like, why would the average man be more valuable than the average woman? Why aren't we all just the same?
I hear where you coming from, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because where does a woman derive her value in society?
Oh, I don't know.
From her looks.
Okay.
And I just told you, looks are bound to fade. So if she only has, what makes a woman most valuable is her looks. She only has looks until what? She's about 30 years old, right? But a man's utility and his value in society comes from what? What he's able to do, his competency, which he could have a competency at 70, 80 years old. That's why you see an 80-year-old with a 20-year-old, but you've never seen a 80-year-old woman with a 20-year-old dude. Well, you might, but it don't really go like that. So what I'm saying is, because a woman's value is predicated on her looks, looks are easy to find. Not only are they easy to find, they're easy to buy. And if something is easy to find or easy to buy and easily accessible, it's not valuable by definition. Valuable is something rare. And when you're rare, when you're a man, you could develop habits, you could develop disciplines, you could develop competency, you could develop things that are merited. It makes you more valuable. Let's put it like this. Let's take you, right? You're more valuable than 99% of women, but you probably don't think that. But guess what? The baddest woman could walk in here. You can find 10 of her. Where can they find as many Flakkos doing what you're doing? You worldwide, you well known, you on your way to places. But she will treat you as if she's more valuable than you. And you will believe it and treat her like she's more valuable than you, when in reality, you are more rare than her. And that's all I'm doing. I'm trying to wake up dudes. And I'm not saying have false value. Yeah. I expect every man to be working on himself. Go to the gym, eat right. Yeah. You need to be better than a woman for her to follow you. Nobody's going to follow you if you got all the same bad habits, if you're on the same level. You got to be head and shoulders above a woman for her to follow you. So I'm not saying don't work on yourself, but I'm saying a man has the potential to be more valuable than any woman, because a woman's value is predicated on something that's destined to go away.
JR, real quick. That's a bar what the kid said in the video. And I hate that he used the word value. And that's why I said women can't be high value, because he really, if he would have swapped out that word value with demand, because he said, oh, you know, what's a woman's value? It's attributed to how pretty she is or how good she looks. That's what I meant by demand. Like, women are in demand, and typically in demand in their youth, you know, right at the peak of their beauty, because that's when most guys are desiring her. And then he attributed value to men's utility in the world to be able to make something and do something and move society along. And that's why I typically change that. But I do want to say this one thing. JR had asked Hink, you know, does beauty fade? Or, you know, can women be beautiful? And Hink was like, yeah, you know, no, that goes away. One thing, I always talk about us playing semantics and playing with words, and we know what people really mean. And I know exactly what Hink was talking about, but I do want to be clear. There's a difference between beautiful and pretty. And, you know, and just being in the film industry and being in fashion and whatnot and dealing with models and all and actresses and shit. A woman can be beautiful until the day she dies, because beauty incorporates and encompasses a whole lot more than just the surface stuff. Pretty implies that something looks nice on the outside. Beauty can be within. And there's a lot of beautiful, what Felicia Rashad pops in my head right now. There's a lot of beautiful women that can grow older, and her prettiness may fade. You know, and I know we call it beauty that fades, but she may not be pretty like she was back in 85 when she was doing the Cosby Show. But she could be a beautiful woman well into her 80s, 90s until she dies. So I just wanted to make sure that we're clear on that one. That's not a semantics thing. I want guys and gals to understand that beautiful women is completely different than a pretty woman. So just want to throw that out
there. Kenny P said Sade in the back. You put Sade. Said she follows along the lines too. I'm going to go ahead to M. White. Then we'll go to Darwin.
So where he's starting off is trying to get men to see their value as men, and I think that's a good place, because for whatever reason, some men automatically didn't come into this life feeling how valuable that they actually are, and it's a lot of value in us. It's a lot of value in each and every man. It's just you got to tap into it and understand what your resource is and how you bring that to the world and let that light shine out. He coming from a place of not being a pimp, but it's the saying, like, it ain't on you, it's in you. It's in him. That's why it's resonating that way. So when his words,
Marcus, you know you are resident pimp. So just lay it on us. Lay it on us, brother.
I never said I was no pimp neither. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
but I understand his struggle. I understand what he's talking about, though. You know, the thing about it is, the culture that he resonating from has a way of understanding women. And the key thing when he say don't pedestalize a woman, it's extremely important not to put her above you. But the other part of that is don't mistreat her either. So you have to be able to garner a level of respect where you don't put her above yourself, but you don't treat her like she below you. And that's that nuance pill. When you take that nuance pill, it hit a little different because you understand at that point that you're not simping and losing yourself by treating her nicely. As a matter of fact, it's more testament to how much of a man you are, because you like, shit, I'm not breaking or hurting myself by treating her in the best way possible. And then you can get the reciprocating energy and get her to invest in you and get her to really buy in. And when she buy in, bro, I'm telling you, when women love you, it's no limit to the things they'll do. No limit under the sun to the things they'll do. I know y'all see people who you be like, how did she stay with this guy? This guy's a bum. This guy's a piece of this guy did this to her. This guy, because she loved him. When they actually love you, they go to hell and back. And I know we'll talk a lot about how women leave and do all this stuff, but maybe you didn't tap into the right energy where you was really touching her spirit and soul with how you interconnected with her. And a lot of what men in the ism is really be talking about is getting in tune and tapping in and being able to touch that cerebellum. And when you touch that, then the body follow, and then the heart with that. So that's what I'm taking from that. But yeah, I agree with almost everything he said.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Darwin.
I mean, I hear what everybody's saying. I hear what the dude's saying in the video. A couple of things I don't agree on is the fact that he told the dude that, I guess, you want to be cool with the host. Me personally, I would have told the host he looked like shit. I probably need to go to the gym to get his values. Most definitely would have told him he was more valuable than most women. I probably would have rephrased it as, you can be more valuable if you work on X, Y, and Z. Right now, dude, you look like shit. You need to get it together. I get you got a podcast and goes up there. That's valuable. But in the context of being appealing to women, or the women that you probably want, you way off, dude. Secondly, I do think women can be high value. I think as long as there's a demand for a particular woman, and there's a rarity in getting her, and it makes the women that are that valuable. And the more rare, it makes them highly valuable. Because it's really, I would even argue that you probably have more high value women than you have more high value men. In terms of, rating them as a woman, not in terms of rating them parallel to male, because obviously it's the earnings involved with the man. But as far as a woman, it's her ability to nurture, cooperate, submit, and all these other things. The beauty is obviously attraction is one thing, but the fact that you got men running away from the United States and out of the country suggests that there is a higher rarity of women to get to, and almost slim to none. So the ones that are out there, that's not discovered or very difficult to discover, I would argue that those women are high value. I mean, until you have a third of women that's not getting sex, and we can argue that there's more high value. But because there's not a third of women, women are not struggling to find a partner. And I know y'all say we ain't keeping score that way, keeping score by getting married, but still, just having those interactions on a level to where it can lead to something further. Women don't struggle with that. Men struggle with that. So I do think women can be high value. We would have to come to a consensus and lay out what's important. Like, what do we want from these women, or what do we value in these women that has a consensus to be able to determine whether or not they can indeed be valued highly. But I think the dude is I guess y'all calling them a pimp. Maybe I didn't hear the. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm on vacation with the family, so if y'all hear somebody in the background, it's because I just came into DC from Atlanta. So I apologize for the.
Hey, Bruce, I do
all
got a
that.
question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you said something along the lines about women being able to have those interactions with men, and obviously we're probably talking about sexually, right?
But I wouldn't say sexually. I would say sexually is like the next level. That's like getting on base is what I'm talking about. Not actually hitting a home run. I think hitting a home run is actually physical intimacy. But
Fair
actually
enough.
getting on base is interaction.
Fair enough. If that's the case, then what is the male equivalent to that? Because I would think that y'all remember when I asked that question in the back chat, how many of y'all know a guy that think that he's the best, like he's the top dog, and he got a bunch of female friends around him that he ain't never slept with?
I think I recall it.
Wouldn't that be the same equivalent? I would argue that that is the equivalent to a woman who gets a lot of male attention, but she can't bag one. Like as far as make him, you know what I mean? I would argue that that's the same thing as a man, because men can get relationships with women easily. Can you bag them and have sex with them is the hard part. But it ain't hard for men to start relationships with women and become their confidants and talk to them and be their homie and
be the homie easy.
Yeah, that's something that men could do. Bar none shit. We know dudes that can have a bunch of female friends around them, and they all come to him and they all talk to him. They all ask him questions. He may take them out to eat and buy them shit and have a good time, and they all love him. But he can't sleep with none of them. And we know
I see something different, and I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
What I see is the struggle is not getting the cheeks when the man actually meets these women. The thing the man struggle with is settling for the appetite that he has. When I say that, I mean the struggle men have is deciding whether or not, okay, this is for me, and I'm done. I'm throwing my card. I don't think it ever really been that much about having sex. When you talk about incels and all that stuff, I'm talking about just the average dude. The issue ain't never been getting the draws. The issue been being honest with these women and saying, hey, look, this is what I want. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the next level. Let's get committed. Let's get there. That's what these guys are struggling at. And it ain't even, I would even argue, it ain't really necessarily got anything to do with the woman, okay with selling it now. I would argue that she's okay with selling it. It's the men that are like, you know what? I'm going to drag you along for a little bit more time until I figure out I can get something better.
Yeah, but Darwin, that's a complete contradiction to what you said earlier.
Okay, how was it contradiction?
Because if men are just dragging them along and doing whatnot, then how is it that you said that women can get relationships easily?
I said they can get interactions. I think I was talking about, that's what Sweeney kind of went down the rabbit hole with me when we talked. So and we kind of cleared it up, whether it was interactions or was it actual second base. I mean, not second base.
Well,
hitting a home run.
Well, let's define interaction, because we all know that she can organize a gangbang tonight. We know that. What I'm asking is, because you are attributing her value to the fact that she can have interactions. Well, what are these interactions?
Well, I didn't go down in detail with what I would contribute her value to. When I spoke about high value women, and I kind of challenged you on that, I was saying we would have to come to a general consensus on what are the traits or attributes that a woman should possess in order to be deemed high value. And I kind of made a point about how the demands in the market, the rarity of the woman that we can't get to. So
no, I got
her having interactions is just, the only argument on that is that she have overwhelmingly more interactions than the average man. I'm agreeing with everybody on the panel with that.